Let's talk about the team this year. We'll start with offensive unit. You talked about the year of the quarterback, perhaps in the OVC. Our quarterback, I'm very confident with. Derek Carr back for the Skyhawks, the McKenzie native.
Yep, very comforting to have a fifth-year senior back, and there's nothing that he'll face that he hasn't seen before. I mean, now that doesn't mean he's going to complete every pass and not have some bad plays, but it's just kind of neat in position meetings to be able to spend more time with the young quarterbacks because, like I said, there's not a whole lot I can say that Derek has not heard or seen before. So, his thing, we've talked about, he'll break every school record we have as long as he stays healthy. But as he knows, his legacy is getting us into playoffs. And so, I'm certainly pleased with where he is at this point. I think he's matured. I think he's had an outstanding camp. And so I'm excited to see him play Saturday.
For the folks that are new to the area or haven't watched a lot of UT Martin football and are paying attention this year and hearing a lot about Derek Carr, give us a 30-second synopsis on what makes him a strong quarterback.
He stands in the face of the rush. We threw the ball 380 times last year. We only gave up 5 sacks. Now, that's a credit to our offensive line, but I'm sure they'll be the first one to tell you. A lot of it is because he doesn't put them in bad position. He gets us in the right checks, throws the ball away. He doesn't mind throwing an incomplete. He's not so much worried about stats. It's just, moving the football team. Yeah. So, like I said, those things, and I think his teammates have a lot of confidence in him.
And, man, can he throw the football?
Well, he really does it. Sometimes his feet are all not where they're supposed to be, and we've continued to work on his fundamentals. But, he's a good play-action passer, rhythm passer, and, we'll take him for what we do over any quarterback in the league.
Let's talk about running the football this year, Coach.
From the tailback position, it starts with, Jason McNair and Tevin Barksdale. I mean, those two are kind of interchangeable, and they both got their own qualities. And characteristics they bring to our offense. Jason's more of an open field runner. Tevin's got great vision, and you don't think he's that fast, and all of a sudden he'll break off a 50, 60-yard run. DJ McNeil will play a bigger role for us this year. From the fullback spot and tailback spot. So I think those would be the three guys that you see. But when I think of our run game, though, I think of our offensive line. Mm-hmm. I think of those two big redshirt sophomore tackles and Tyler Eady. And our guard positions have been solidified with Michael Bryan and John Johnson. We're bigger at the guard position.
Who's going to catch the football this year, Coach?
Well, you start with Quentin Sims, our returning all-conference player and preseason All-American in some polls, and the rest of it be by committee. I think there's a lot of guys that have shown some things. Dylan Davis has done some good things this camp if he can stay healthy, and then I think you'll see a lot of Jeremy Butler. Ben Everett plays our tight end, does a lot of things in our passing game. So it'll be done by committee besides Quentin.
You talked offensively about the experience coming back, and there is a lot. There's some newcomers, some names we might hear on the radio.
Well, so offensively, Corey Jordan will play a bigger part in our offense this year. He's kind of an H-back, fullback, tight end, but he's a receiver by trade. He's just 218 pounds. That's why we're able to move him around a little bit. That'll be a name. Kevin Barfield, I'm really excited about. He's our fastest player on our football team. Hopefully he can give us a deep play threat. And he made some plays for us last year. It's just hopefully this year he can be more consistent in that role. And then maybe as two running backs, you may see some of Trent Garland. He showed some good things through camp, through spring practice, and the true freshman, LaDevin Fair from Oban Central has had a good camp as well. So I think those will be some new names on offense.
Let's go to the defensive side, Coach, and we'll start with the all-important defensive line this year.
Well, you start with Montori Hughes, our nose tackle, and
one article I read described him as a space eater.
Well, he does. He's a space, but hey, I tell you what, I'm very proud of him. He's down to about 318, 319, and he's moving so much better, and he's able to practice more harder and longer, better endurance and stuff. So he's had a good camp, and there's been over 20 NFL teams in here to see him, and he's got a lot of ability, and his resume is what he does on Saturday. Now playing that nose tackle, it's not going to be like a running back showing up in the stat sheet or a defensive end rushing the passer, okay? I mean, his job is to eat some blocks, but as he knows, if you're going to play on Sundays, you have to make plays in the OVC from wherever you're playing on the field, and that's his biggest challenge. And our two ends, returning Ryan Isom and DJ Roberts, so we're very confident in their ability. And then you throw the old man, the fifth-year senior Darren Knowles, in there, and our four-man front, I feel very confident in.
Linebackers, Coach?
Linebackers, you're going to see some new faces on there. It's kind of by committee. Jet Howard's coming back off injury, and he's in that, starting one linebacker position. Ben Johnson, who played a lot for us last year, is starting at one of the linebacker positions. A guy who played a little bit last year, but's really matured and making some plays now. Tony Bell is back in the linebacker spot. And then Chris Wright, who's a senior, has worked his way in there. Jarvis McCann's had an outstanding camp coming off of a knee injury. So, there's a lot of guys kind of in the mix. And Nathan Rodro's coming back off of sitting out last year. So we're kind of too deep those linebacker positions to give us some experience and depth.
Defensive backs and safeties.
The corners, we got two new corners. So, but we got Thad Williams coming back off an injury from last year. He's on one side. And Taino Perez, a true sophomore, is on the other side. The safety position, Fred Fenor returns from last year. Julius McNair's in the mix there. And then a newcomer, we call him Snoop Blackman, is coming in from junior college from Hines Community College, came in January. So we're deeper than we've ever been on defense. We've got more team speed than we've ever had. Just got to continue to learn the new scheme of our defense and mix it in with some things that we did last year. And I think as the season goes along, you'll see our defense get better.
And maybe the underlooked part of the game, special teams this year. Good to see Cody Sandlin coming back.
Well, it is. You got a returning kicker. He's returning kicker. He struggled a little bit during camp, but Cody's one of those guys that I don't worry about until he misses him in the game, because he's as all kickers are a little bit out there, but he's shown that he's a little bit consistent on Saturdays. And then you return your long snapper and Clay Sheely, and you got a new punter in Satterfield, so this will be his first game. So hopefully he can, kind of get his feet on the ground and contribute and help us be successful.
You guys have been ridiculously busy. A good thing you got a break in the weather a little bit. How was the camp? What did you take away from it, and those scrimmages that many of us got to see?
It was 3 weeks of a camp, so that's the longest we've had. Last year, when school starts determines when you can start. So we didn't start school till today. You can only have 29 practices up to the first game. So we would have 3 weeks of here, and now you can't run around and just beat each other to death for 3 weeks. There's only so many days you can practice once a day, some twice and stuff. So what we did is we had a lot of walkthroughs, and even when we had 2 practices, it may be out there without helmets on for one of them and stuff. So as a head coach, I probably had less tackling to the ground this year than I've had. Sometimes you can do that with an experienced team because you start off with 3 non-conference games. I just felt like it was important to get us to those games, and then we can play our way in through some mistakes instead of going out there not being very smart and tackling when maybe it wasn't necessary and losing a guy. So that's the decision we made, and because once you do that, you can't go back and say, doggone it, I wish I hadn't gone to the ground today. So, and we lost one wide receiver in the league. Jared broke his foot in a drill one day. So it can come at any time. You just hope it doesn't come in bunches.
So it pretty much came out other than the major injury.
Yes, knock on wood and stuff. But we had some time, Chris, this year to spend a lot of time on our team chemistry, our unity, and there's a lot of little workshopping type things that we did, and spending time to get to know each other. I got tired of hearing all that about we're a family. Well, if I don't know what your mom and dad's name are, and I don't know what your mom and dad does for a living, then no, we're not really family. We're just, we just kind of know each other a little bit. And so we took that, we took that very serious, and we spent a lot of time with each other, getting to know each other. So I, as a coach, even though I've recruited all these kids and been their home, there was a lot of things that I didn't know what their goals and their dreams and their aspirations were, and I think it's going to help us down the road.
Okay, we'll take a break. We'll come back and play Fill in the Blank with Coach Jason Simpson when we return. Snappy Tomato Pizza, the location, Skyhawk Talk here on this Monday night, and more on the way.